I learned something today. I didn't know that owls hocked up hairballs. Good morning and welcome back to another episode of More Towards Kirby Smith. I'm Kirby Smith and I'm standing here with Miss Jenna Emerson and Miss Sheri Spivey who are with CEMEX 474. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. Thanks for coming out this morning. Great to see you.
It is great to be here. What a beautiful day and what a beautiful time we have here in Lake County. We're here for a very special reason, and that is what CEMEX does for not only our environment, but how we teach our kids about the environment. So can we go over a little bit about what you do out here at your educational center?
Yeah, so I'll just start and then I'll be glad to turn it over to Sheri, who now runs our educational programs. But this facility specifically started this classroom in 2000, and it started because we were reclaiming Engstrom Lake, which is right behind us, and we got students involved. So part of the mining process, after you're finished, you get what you need, you go back in and you mitigate and you reclaim those lands. And so we brought kids in. Nothing like getting outside, getting their boots on, and actually planting this littoral shelf. And just a side note too, instead of planting, obviously there's permits that say how much you need to go back in. CEMEX always takes it the next step, and we plant above and beyond so we can work with certifications and companies like the Wildlife Habitat Council, which this was one site that was first certified through that council. So it just adds some validity to the project. But we see thousands of students a year, and Sheri now runs those programs. And so I'll let Sheri share a little bit about that.
So when you're talking about reclaim, I know what reclaiming means, and it's a common term that we use, but for the average Joe out there, they may not know what you mean by reclamation projects or when you reclaim something. Can you go through the process of what it means to reclaim an old sand mine pit?
Sure. So reclamation is putting it back into a useful product, because we can't put sand back into where we've taken it out, but we can reclaim it for the habitat. And so what we do, the process is the sides of the sand mine are usually about 60 feet deep, depending on what the permit was. And so what we do is we slope in the sides, a 3-to-1 ratio for the first 12 to 15 feet. And then we plant that littoral shelf that what Jenna was talking about. And the littoral shelf is where you plant native species, water habitat plants that support fish, support wading birds, support other animals and insects that are native to the area.
I think you said something very important that we need to probably start off with, and that's permitting. If I wanted to do a sand mine, I just can't go out there with a backhoe and start digging up sand. There's a lot of permits and processes that a sand mine, not only CEMEX, but all the sand mines here in Lake County have got to go through. Can you explain some of those permit processes, and then we'll get into the educational portion?
Yeah, I think it's important to know that, not just sand mines, but really anybody in business, we're highly regulated, so we are definitely checking all those boxes and then going far and beyond those boxes to make sure that we're in compliance. And when it comes from your EPA, your Mining Corps of Engineers, your county permits, it's necessary. And even from the reclamation standpoint, mining in general, you didn't have to reclaim until the early 80s. So that's something that came on later, which I think everyone would agree is very important, because otherwise, yes, we do create beautiful lakes, but there'd be no sloping, there'd be no, back planting. And so all that stuff is in place now so that you can have, we like to consider, better than what it was before, and even lakefront property that you might have not had before, to bring on, those wading species, yes, those fish, but things that people really do love when it comes to your what Florida looks like. I mean, if you flip this camera around and you see those pine trees, and this facility out here is old Florida. And I think people, as much as we are continuing to develop, which is still very important, you still want pieces of Florida and outdoors, because people love to camp and they love to hike and they want to picnic, especially on days like this, the 6 months out of the year when you want to be outside. So I think that's just very crucial, to your point, to understand that it's highly regulated and we're in compliance. And then when we can go above and beyond on those permits to get certain accreditations, we do that because it just shows the commitment on the environmental side.
It's not only with CEMEX, but it was with all the sand mines throughout Lake County that follow the same processes and they have the same goal, and that is, one, it's a commodity that is needed here in Lake County, and two, to enhance the property better than what it was before you got hit.
Yeah.
because I can tell you now that the diversity of the animals that come here now is quite different than the diversity of the animals that were here before you started. So with that, let's go on with your educational program here. And I understand that you do a lot of schools.
Yes. So we see probably about 2,500 students at this facility alone every year from January to December. And because what we do, we reimburse the schools for transportation. We reimburse the schools for any substitutes they might need, either to cover a class, for a teacher to come out, or maybe to come out and help lead a lesson or help with supervising students. And we also provide all the materials for it. So it is a fee-free day for the students. And because it's so important for every student to be able to come out and participate.
So we're out here at one of your reclaimed spots. Can you explain what happened here?
This was, as I said, over by the classroom. This was the first spot of where we involved the students in 2000 and did our first reclamation project. This is our Engstrom Lake, so that's why the classroom is the Engstrom classroom. So we mined the sand, we got what we needed, and then we put it back into its original, or what we consider a better state. We did also work with the EPA. That's one thing I forgot to mention. We received grant dollars to help fund that project, which made it just even more grandiose than what it was. So,
from my understanding in our earlier conversation, is not only did CEMEX purchase the plant material, but you actually had some students come out and help you.
That is correct. That is what kind of had this whole program blossom. The students helped with the mitigation, the reclamation piece. They planted these plants. It was a 3-day project, and they put on their wetland boots, and that's how it got started. And that was kind of the guinea pig of it all, right? And we've done it at many other facilities since then, but this is where it all started, so it's very special to us. And of course, there's a lot of fishing that takes place here, so it's continued earning its keep here.
All right, where we head to next?
So we can go and take a walk down our nature trail. So this is a nature trail that we've cut through that is adjacent to our wetlands mitigation area that is still currently being monitored for EPA and for release. But we have this trail that goes all the way around the wetland mitigation area and back out to the road by the dock out there. And we use this for students to have an opportunity to get in the woods, for them to look for flowering and non-flowering plants, to look for signs of animals, which usually they're a lot louder than you really want them to be able to observe animals. So, but they get to see, just get an opportunity to be out in nature and hear how loud it is in the woods. If you can get them to be quiet, you can hear that there's a lot going on around them. And it's a great opportunity for them to be outside.
And as we're walking down this trail, I noticed these flags. Can you explain why these are here in your nature trail?
So we have an environmental day where we bring out high school students who are in AP environmental classes. And this is an opportunity for students to learn how to identify plants, and then they have to figure out the percentage of that plant in a given area, and which is how environmental monitoring is done.
So as we're talking about your environmental day here, you just mentioned to me there's a lot of lakes here at the CEMEX property. Can you explain a little bit about what you just explained to me?
Sure. So one of the groups that came out on that day was Lake County's Parks and Water Resource Department. And they came out and they taught a water lesson over there at the lake. And students were testing water, and they were going through all the processes about that and educating the students about the importance of our water resources.
People don't realize how lucky we are to have those people here in Lake County to teach our students and our kids, and actually the general public, about water safety and water resources. We have the top tier of the water resource professionals right here in Lake County. So thank you for mentioning them.
Yes.
Because they absolutely deserve all the accolades that they can get because they do a fantastic job here in Lake County.
So another thing that we do out here is, well, sometimes the forestry department will come out and they'll do lessons for the students. They've done things on controlled burn, but they also help us with an environmental day, teaching them about looking at rings on tree rings and determining the age of a tree and environmental considerations that might happen with that. So we really try to encourage other contractors to come out here, other groups to come out here. One group that we also have had out here is the Boy Scouts. We do a Boy Scout Merit Badge day where they get their Mining and Society and their geology badges all in one day. It's no cost to them. We provide all the materials and the lessons. And our CEMEX experts, our environmental guys, our geologists, they come out and they teach those lessons to the students.
That is absolutely fantastic. So you mentioned something that you don't have to be part of a school. You could be any group, right? Like a Chamber of Commerce or...
Yes, absolutely. We could do Chamber of Commerce groups.
Can an individual come out?
So a lot of times it just depends on times. We want you to reach out to us. We're very transparent. We've got nothing to hide. We always joke like, what's behind the berm? We're happy to show you what's behind the berm. So reach out and, we'll show you what you want to see.
If somebody's looking at this board chart and says, you know what, I got a group or I'm just really interested in doing this. What's the process of getting in touch with either of y'all to set up a time to bring a student out or bring a group out? And it's all groups within Lake County. It doesn't matter where you are.
The fastest way, and we're happy to share both of our information, but we also have a website specifically for our Lake County facilities, and it's CEMEXLakeCounty.com. And you can visit that site. It talks about what we do for the environment, for education, also about our new sand mine we have at Four Corners Sand Mine, about the progress there. And you can just fill out a form with your contact information. It goes directly to myself. And then depending on what your need is, I can reach out or have Sheri reach out, and we'll definitely get back to you and accommodate.
So all the information is at the bottom of your screen. I certainly appreciate both of you and what you're doing for. This is truly real Florida, real close. Bringing Florida back, even though you have a vital industry that you're doing here, but you're also bringing real Florida back into Florida.
Yes.
People just don't realize how much CEMEX and all the sand mines do for our environment. They think you're just digging a hole and leaving it, and that's absolutely not the case. As you can see here, there's a lot of environmental education going on. There's a lot of environmental protection going on. There's a lot of invasive species that we're trying to, not invasive species, there's a lot of endangered species that we're trying to bring back to full life. So thank you very much for everything that y'all do. I can't thank CEMEX enough for inviting us out here to show off a little bit about your programs and truly get the word out that CEMEX is not just a sand mine, it's more of an educational center and more of an environmentally friendly area for people to come out and enjoy. If you have any questions or you have any concerns, look at the bottom of the screen, website's there. Give CEMEX a call, write them an email, fill out the form. They're very nice, very receptive. Most importantly, be good to your friends, be good to your neighbors, and just help out when you can. That's all we have for Board Shorts Kirby Smith. See you next Wednesday.